and welcome to our show, Geeks Wired Podcast, where we talk about video games, movies, TV, comic books, technology, and TLDR, the Internet of Things. I'm your host, Bill, and the other host is Anthony.
Hello, Bill.
Hi, Anthony. And you can reach us by emailing us at geekswired@gmail.com or send us a voicemail or a text message at 801-896-GEEK or 801-896-4335. You also can help support us by going to our Patreon page at patreon.com/geekswired, where you also get access to the podcast early. You get your own special RSS feed. And this week, because it's being released on the 18th, I'm adjusting things and it's going to break. There we go, it broke.
Loud noises.
I know. Because it's being released, or was released, on the 18th. Justice League.
Unless you caught it when it was leaked. Then you've already seen it by now, probably.
True.
But
it was leaked a little.
I doubt very much that there's probably that many people. Like, the only way you would have noticed it probably is you logged in and just happened to see it was there and clicked it immediately. Like, because you had nothing else that you were going to do.
Because you've been waiting for it. You've been counting it down.
Well, I mean, if you've been counting it down, I'm sure you didn't even expect it to.
True.
When did it leak?
Because
I'm wondering if it was like a time zone thing.
I don't think it was a time zone thing. And I just know HBO ended up leaked it early, or HBO Max leaked it early, around March 9th.
Oh, never mind.
March 8th, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, if it was March 8th, then someone probably just forgot to put in the 1 in front of the 18.
It's possible. Well, the story's from the 18th, so, but that's possible.
The story's from the 8th, you mean?
That's what I meant.
Because it's not even the 18th yet.
It depends.
It's not the 18th yet as we're recording this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it happened 10 days before the Zack Snyder Justice League was technically supposed to. So you're right. Somebody forgot the 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
Though, with that though, for the listeners that don't know what the Zack Snyder Cut is, so back when Justice League was made 23, however many years ago. I don't remember.
It wasn't that long ago.
2017. It's been a bit. Back in 2017, when it was supposed to be released.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
When it was supposed to be released?
Okay, when it was released.
Okay, I was like, it wasn't released?
It was released. What happened is Zack Snyder's son passed away, so there was a lot of family affairs that he had to take care of, personal stuff that he had to take care of, and the movie was mostly done. And they ended up handing it over to Joss Whedon to take over.
Are you sure it's him? You should probably make sure it's him.
Pretty sure it was Joss Whedon, but I guess
it should show it on IMDb, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think that. Where it's right there. I'm pretty sure it was.
It still says.
That's just, it just says Zack Snyder. It doesn't actually say who finished up the production. Or who was the second director. And it's going to be fun to find this.
You're right.
It was?
It was Joss Whedon.
It was Joss Whedon. Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure I remembered a lot of this. So it was Joss Whedon, and he ended up doing reshoots. He ended up doing lots of stuff, and apparently changed the idea of the movie. And the movie was long in the first place. Like, I want to say it was like 2.5 hours. It was a lot. So everyone got, but people were very disappointed. They're like, oh, give us the Snyder cut. There's a Snyder cut. They've hidden it from us. So they're, after much, much, much time, they are releasing it on HBO directly. And there's a lot of talk that this is going to be, there's some, I shouldn't say a lot, there is some talk that this is, I guess it's only 2 hours, it's not 2.5. But there's some talk that this is being hyped up probably bigger than
it should.
Yeah, and there's the slight worry because you start wanting something really, really bad, all it can do is go down from that point.
Well, like when there's a ton of hype for something, like there was with, what was it, Duke Nukem Forever?
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to, like, people had put in pre-orders for, like, what, 99 or something for it because it was supposed to come out then, and then it just never did. And by the time it came out, it just made so much hype and everything that people were just full-on disappointed with it.
And there was a lot of nostalgia. I think that's why a lot of people were also wanting it, because Duke Nukem comes from the side-scroller time period. Duke Nukem used to be a side-scroller game.
Did it?
Yeah. Along with Jazz Jackrabbit and...
I guess I'm thinking Doom. Doom wasn't.
Yeah, Doom was never as a side-scroller. Duke Nukem was a side-scroller game originally.
And another game that has so much hype that it'll never come out again is Half-Life 3. Oh, that'll just never come out.
You sure?
It's been 20 years.
Who's the company that owns Half-Life?
Valve. The same one who owns Steam.
Oh, yeah.
They have Steam, but giving them money now. They don't care.
Yeah, I see that. 'Cause I was thinking maybe it's, somebody that buys them will suddenly decide to do something with it. No, Steam's going to stay
Doesn't matter.
Steam.
That's what happened to Duke Nukem Forever, I'm pretty sure. It got, the story had been reworked so much over, the 10-year period that it just, you could tell it wasn't put together very well. And, with Half-Life 3, they had scripts and stuff, and some stuff is leaked, supposedly has leaked for, episodes, 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because Half-Life 2 was supposed to be episodic, and the whole point for that was so that they could bring out games faster.
Yeah.
And they made it to episode 2, and then that was it.
Oh.
And episode 2 ended on a cliffhanger. We'll never know how it ended. I'm going to spoil it.
Okay.
Basically, do you know anything about Half-Life, Bill?
0.
Okay, well.
But go ahead. I'm intrigued. You've intrigued me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the best TLDR. Yeah, TLDR of the whole thing. But basically, Gordon Freeman, he is working at an underground facility in New Mexico in the late 90s or early 90s. And they are messing with a reactor of some kind, trying to open up a portal. They open up the portal, but it stays open, which brings in a lot of, I'm telling Half-Life storyline, actually. This is before Half-Life 2 even.
Oh.
But I'm about to jump into Half-Life 2.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I've played a little bit of Half-Life 1, but not the whole thing. Because at the time I was playing a fan remake, and they just redid the graphics and stuff. The storyline was still the same and everything, but they hadn't finished it at that point, so I didn't get to finish it. But it's done now. It's called Black Mesa, but Black Mesa, I think. Yeah, Black Mesa is the company that he works for. But anyways, the open portal brings in these otherworldly aliens, and they end up taking over the world.
Yeah.
And so Half-Life 2, you open up with, I think you're on a train. Yeah, you're on a train going towards these plantation cities that humans live at now.
Mm-hmm.
And you show up, and then you're given a crowbar.
Useful.
And, yeah, at that point you just... I'm really leaving out a lot of stuff, but...
That'll happen. Your TLDR?
There is a resistance, as there is in most games. And you somehow join the resistance.
La Resistance lives on.
Mostly because the people who are in the resistance were your old colleagues and stuff.
Ah.
So you just it's just kind of natural, I guess. I don't know. You're a meet protagonist. You don't get a whole lot. You don't get to put in too much. Like, you don't get a choice, really. But towards the end, there's this... so you travel around with Alex a lot. Mm-hmm. And Half-Life Alex is actually a prequel of what she was doing before Half-Life 2. But you travel around with her a lot, and when the second episode of Half-Life 2 ends, you one of the alien like worm thingies, I don't remember what they're called, but they grab her dad and lift him up into the air, stick a tentacle into his spinal cord, and suck out his brain and stuff, so that they can get like the memories and whatnot. And then he gets thrown across the room, and you fade to black with Alex crying in the background. And that's it. That's how the story ends.
Nice.
And I've been waiting for a third game ever since I finished it. Which was like, I don't know, 2009, 2010. Because I played it like well after. Because I got the orange box, and that's how I played it.
Oh. So I never played that one on Orange Box. I played Portals, and actually that's all I played.
You just played Portal? Did you play Portal, or did you also play Portal 2?
I think I have Portal 2, but I've never played it.
We should play it.
Oh, okay.
The co-op part is amazing. Like that, the co-op part for that is the best, like, modern. Well, I'm not going to say modern because it's like 8 years old at this point, but actually it's 10 almost. But as far as like AAA games go, it's probably the best co-op game I think I've played, because it was designed around co-oping.
Yeah.
Like, they have a co-op campaign where you're completely separate from the main campaign, and you're these two little robots who do these courses that GLaDOS has been putting you through. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the point, but I think you have to fix something, like part of the system, because the laboratory's dying or something. But anyways, it's a good campaign because they put in these, because back then people didn't really, like, they made it to where if you wanted to play on Xbox Live with someone, you could, and you wouldn't need chat, because if you were like one of the robots and you needed your partner to, because you get two portal guns, one for you, one for your partner, so you have two sets of portals, so you can, like, the portals you control are different from the portals the other person controls. Oh. And so if you need to, like, if you have figured out how to do this, because it's a bunch of puzzles, that's what Portal is basically, and if you are trying to direct them without voice or chat, even if you're trying to direct them to put the portal up on this wall over here, you can actually point over there and click a button, and it'll like put like a little radar ping over there.
Oh, nice.
And so you can see that you need to put something there. And even if you're doing couch co-op or you're on a voice chat with someone, still having that ability to do that is still amazing. Like, even
like, I want it there, that exact spot.
You want it in that exact spot. And even if you're doing couch co-op, it's still super useful, because the other person doesn't have to go up, get off the couch, point physically at the TV. And yeah, so it's a lot of fun. There's also a lot of shenanigans. There's these light bridges. I think they're in Portal 2, like the main campaign. And the friend that I was playing with at the time, whenever the light bridges first became a thing, he immediately decided to try to see if he could spawn the portal through, like, right through me, like as I was passing through it. You can. It kills you.
That'll happen.
Which, it was just funny that would they actually planned for that.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of fun. If you haven't played Portal 2, like the campaign, the co-op campaign, and you ever get a chance to, I would recommend it.
Well, you might have to do something. I think I have it on Steam.
I also have it on Steam.
I know I played Portal on Xbox way back in the day.
I also have it on Xbox. Like Portal 2.
Well, I had the disc.
Portal 2 was actually the first game that I pre-ordered with my own money off of Amazon, and I had it delivered to me on release day. Actually, I may have even got it a day before.
They're still putting out updates.
What?
Yeah, last update, February 18th, 2021. There was an update.
Huh.
They're still putting out updates for this game.
Oh, maybe it's... Do they have user content now? Portal 2 authoring tools update.
Oh, that was the previous one. That was back on July 14th. Yeah.
I didn't know they had user content.
They're still doing updates, though. So that's
I'll have
really
to look at
interesting.
it. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I guess it's Steam, so it's like, oh, we'll just keep it internal.
Yeah,
it
but
going.
there'll never be a Portal 3.
Well, because of the updates, there never will be.
No, that's not why. There's also never going to be a Left 4 Dead 3.
Oh, why?
Or a Half-Life 3. Because Valve can't count to 3.
Oh.
Every single IP they've done has always ended at 2. Always ended at 2. Heck, even Half-Life 2's episode system ended at 2. So.
Really?
What are you looking at?
They're games.
Oh.
Half-Life. There's a Half-Life 4.
No, there's not.
Or Left 4 Dead. Sorry.
Left 4 Dead.
Yes, never mind.
There's no 3 in there either. In that one, they just skipped it. Team Fortress 2. No third one. That was also part of the orange box.
Half-Life Blue Shift.
That's Half-Life 1. And that's an expansion, technically.
They have like a million Counter-Strikes. They don't have numbers on them. Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. And Lost Coast.
Lost Coast was a...
There's a lot of Half-Life 2.
What is that thing that TVs are starting to get? HDR. Half-Life 2 is an HDR like demo.
Oh.
They're not Half-Life 2. Something Coast, what was that? Half-Life 2 Something Coast? Lost Coast?
Something like that. At Lost Coast.
Yeah, that one was an HDR demo.
Oh.
It's really pretty. Takes place on a beach, like an abandoned beach. Heck, it was pretty on my potato of a laptop. Which wasn't really that much of a potato back then, but you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Can't count to 3.
They will do words, but they will not do a 3.
Correct. What words did they do?
Well, okay, so obviously the Half-Life they did that, but with Counter-Strike Neo, Counter-Strike Condition Zero.
Yeah, but when's the last Counter-Strike they put out?
Don't know. It's probably been a decade or so. Counter-Strike Nexus Zombies, 2014.
Oh, shoot. It's newer than I thought.
Yeah, I know. I was actually not expecting that new either. The Left 4 Dead Survivors. A little arcade one, though, but 2014.
Did you ever play Left 4 Dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
liked it.
I don't know if I played the first one and second one or just the second one.
Did you ever play
Underlords?
Dota?
Dota Underlords.
I don't count Dota. They also have a Dota 2, which is basically a...
Yes, they do.
It's what's the Blizzard one?
The tower defense games?
Yeah. StarCraft. It's basically... Is it StarCraft or League?
It's League. StarCraft is...
Yeah. It's basically like League or Heroes of the Storm, which is a League of Legends clone, basically.
It's a tower defense game.
Yeah, but... I forgot to mute that. I don't remember where my thought was going.
They can't count to 3.
Yeah, it was something after that.
Oh.
I don't know.
How did we get to that? Anyways, actually, I'm looking at this. We went from Justice League Snyder Cut to Valve, and not counting to 3. Hype. Yes, you're right. The hype. So, you watched the trailer?
Yeah. I haven't seen the original Justice League, so.
Did you watch Batman v Superman?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched it with you.
Okay. Have you watched any of the other DC movies?
Maybe it was Ted.
If you watched it with Ted, you watched it with me. We watched it with Alex. We watched it as a collection, as a podcast, people. A group of podcasters.
That was before I was a podcaster.
Oh. You're welcomed. That's why you're a podcaster now.
Yeah. Yes, I've seen Batman.
Batman v Superman.
I saw that one. I saw many of the other Batmans.
They don't count yet.
They don't count?
No.
Why not?
They've been because they're not part of the DC cinematic universe that they're building.
Dark Knight's not part of that?
No, it's not.
That's
dumb. Why you have Batfleck.
What's
Batfleck?
Oh, Batfleck. I thought you said Bat.
Yeah, I know. It came out weird.
Bat Black. Man, I can't say that.
Batman. Which is now going to become...
They're not changing what Batman's called, are they?
No. Well, they're changing it from Batfleck to Bat Vampire. I forgot his name.
I can't remember it either. It's Bat Twilight, though. I know who you're talking about. Edward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whatever his real name
Robert
is.
Pattinson. Bat Pattison.
He was also... he was Cedric Diggory on Harry Potter, wasn't he?
He was.
He died.
Yes.
And no, I don't feel sorry about spoiling that if you haven't seen it or read it yet. Because it's been when did Harry Potter 4, the movie, come out? Because I know the book's been out for a good 20 years-ish. 2005. Yeah, the book's definitely been out for about 20 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
It was out whenever I was in fourth or fifth grade.
So as much as Twilight was Twilight, Tenet, he was really, really good in.
Tenet.
The time travel one?
I don't think I saw this.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a blockbuster. That this has a new concept. People were judging it on summer releases. Christopher Nolan, it's one of those thinker movies. There's a lot to it, and it was. Robert Pattinson was really, really good with it. I recommend watching Tenet. I think it's getting ready to be available on demand or stuff like that. I kind of think I talked about it before, but it's a thinker. I was super intrigued with it. I loved it.
Is it a thinker in that there's a twist? Or twists? Or is it just that?
Did you ever watch...
when I think of a movie that had a twist, I'm thinking of Shutter Island. That one was just killing my brain all the way up until the end, and then it really just threw it for a loop. Did you see Shutter Island?
No.
Oh. Well, then. I have no other comparisons for you.
Well, honestly, it's like Christopher Nolan, some of his other movies, where... Because he had... Let's see.
Oh, wait, go back up. No, to the top.
Oh. Okay, kind of like how Interstellar is kind of...
I haven't seen
Inception. Inception. Have you seen Inception?
Yeah, I've seen Inception.
You know how it's a thinker?
Yeah, go back. See if Shutter Island's on that, because I'm pretty sure it's the same person. It would be after, later than Inception.
Later?
Yeah.
I don't see...
What?
I don't see a Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. I guess you gotta look it up, too.
But... if I could spell Shutter...
No?
Oh, it does have Leonardo DiCaprio. He is
that's
a
who I was
popular,
thinking of, actually.
It's Martin Scorsese. But yes, DiCaprio is in a lot of Nolan's stuff, too.
What was the other movie you were talking about?
Equilibrium.
Mm-mm.
What do you mean? You or not Equilibrium, sorry.
Inception.
Inception. You know how Inception's a thinker?
Yeah.
Like that. That is what you get out of Tenet.
Okay, so it would be similar to
Memento.
Shutter Island, I think, too.
And Memento. Memento. Memento is definitely probably one of those that got Nolan's like entire idea of like thinking.
2000, holy crap. 21 years old.
Yeah. So this movie is you're following somebody that cannot convert their short-term. They've got a head injury and they can remember everything before a certain point, but they cannot convert their short-term memory into long-term memory.
So it's like 51st Dates.
Except for it's not even like they go to sleep and it's gone.
Right.
It is they are literally chasing somebody or they're running from somebody and their brain just click and he goes like,
oh, so it's like,
what
it's
am I
just
doing?
random.
It will just happen.
Oh,
and it makes so the movie is so or the movie works in two directions at the same time. At the end, so you see the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie at the same time, and they're coming together to the center of the movie or the center of the time or the story. So, I guess I shouldn't say the movie. So it starts at the end of the story and the beginning of the story, and the two stories are coming together to the center of the story, which is the end of the movie. They come together at the same time to like clear up everything.
So is it like narration style?
At points, at some points, like he's talking.
Like by narration style, I'm thinking of like when you said that, like where it starts at the end, I'm immediately thinking of Emperor's New Groove.
It's slightly like that because he'll talk to himself. Or he'll think, so you get to hear the main character, what he's thinking. Like I said, he's chasing.
But it's at the present, though. Or by the present, I mean it's at the beginning part of the movie. It's not the end part, right?
So remember I said like he's chasing somebody? Or I guess he's running from somebody, and he blinks. He'll actually, like, this is the moving forward part. Moving forward in time, he'll actually go like, oh, what am I doing? Oh, I must be chasing this guy. The guy shoots at him. Nope, I'm running from this guy.
So does he know he has short term?
Yes, he is covered in tattoos to remind himself to do things.
It's like the ultimate writing on yourself with a pen.
Yeah. Oh, he does that. Any type of memories, and he's trying to remember, just get stuff. It also has Carrie Ann Moss, who played in The Matrix. She was I forgot what she
was. She the girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
Actually, she was Trinity.
Yeah.
Yes.
The girlfriend. And
she'll be Trinity in the next one.
Yeah, I forgot about that. When is that supposed to come out?
This year. It's in post-production right now.
Ooh. So it just says this year. It doesn't give a time frame.
No, it does not. Well, that's the thing is all movies are in a hiccup right now.
Hiccup or hiatus?
Yes. Both.
Both. Yes.
I'm sticking with both.
Boom, 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 boom. You forgot to mute your phone.
That will happen. And yes, so but yeah, Nolan, this is style. It's out to thinker. And I loved apparently there's a new Memento getting ready to be released. I don't know how I feel about that.
Like, is it going to be a remake or?
I don't know. Like, I have no clue.
It says based on the screenplay. Oh.
Yeah.
It is a remake.
By the same director. Interesting. But
well, he was in Dunkirk?
He wrote. Oh, actually, I just realized that we were looking at writers. We didn't look at directors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he directed it too. He directed Dunkirk. That was another interesting one.
The Dark Knight.
Yes, those are his.
What's the third one now? Oh, it's a short documentary. Never mind. The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight. What's The Prestige?
The Prestige?
Yeah.
It's the magic one. Which one is?
It's right above Batman Begins. It's right where your mouse is.
It's the magic one that came out during the same time as. So this is. I think. Is this the Edison? No, this isn't. Okay, so the Prestige came out another time as another magic, and they got mixed up a lot. I'm trying to remember what the other one was, but
It wasn't Harry Potter, right?
No, like the same, like a same kind of concept, time period-y.
So it's kind of similar to the Jungle Book. How there were going to be 2 Jungle Books coming out, and they were completely different. And people, including myself, are getting them confused.
Okay, at least that is exactly the same. No, it's more like Bug's Life and Ants coming out at the same time.
Because
these are 2 different movies, but people mix them up all the time.
Did you mix up Ants and Bug's Life? Because I 100% did.
I don't remember. I know enough about them that I will. They are separate in my head.
You were also quite a bit older than I was whenever that was a thing. So,
but there was another movie that was very similar to The Prestige that came out at the same time, but it's one of those magic movies where a guy ends up doing the disappearing act, where he drowns himself he vanishes out of the box and then he appears in the back of the room.
The Illusionist?
Yes. That is the other one.
Because in a thing on my Google search that I did for what movie is similar to The Prestige, people also asked, what is better, The Prestige, or The Illusionist? So that's how I figured that out. What was The Illusionist?
I actually don't remember.
I don't think I've seen either of them.
I do remember.
Actually, I 100% guarantee I haven't seen either of them.
I actually don't think I've seen The Illusionist. Now that I'm like looking at this, I just know it was a thing at the time. I know I've seen The Prestige.
This is around the time when I wasn't going to movie theaters, so
yeah, that happens.
And that's just because it wasn't a choice of mine. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
I would have if I could have. But being in a small town and not going out much does that to you. So
I guess with that, so Hugh Jackman, he's the magician. Christian Bale, he's also a magician, but he's trying to figure out how the trick is done.
Christian Bale's in it?
Yeah, this is a Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan uses the same people. Directors use the same people a lot of the time.
Well, yeah, because they've used to working with them.
Yeah.
May as well.
They like their style of acting. Come on, has Michael Caine.
Don't have to relearn people. Michael Caine.
He played Alfred in the Batman movies.
Oh. He was the butler.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks like a good butler. Who's that?
Piper Perabo. I don't know. Just one of the characters that's in the movie. Oh, she was in Coyote Ugly. And Covert Affairs. Well, this has been fun going through IMDb.
Yeah.
What's the other thing? The other thing you want to talk about, though, with about half the episode left.
Hey, Anime Corner.
Yes.
So if you don't like anime, this is probably the end of the podcast for you.
That's going to be the rest of the podcast.
So Mushoku, I'm saying this wrong.
Mushoku?
Both of it. Mushoku Tensei. I'm probably saying it wrong.
All right.
But that is an anime that I just barely found out was a thing. Well, I've known about it for a week, but I just barely watched it. And it's another isekai style anime where the person gets reincarnated, like they get put into another world in some form or fashion. In this case, it's reincarnation. Like some cases people get summoned, some cases people get reincarnated, meaning they died and were reborn in that case. But in this one, this happens, and that opening scene I showed you was that one. You want to guess what killed him?
The bus.
It wasn't a bus, but you got the right idea. It was Truck Kun.
Truck Kun?
Yeah, Truck Kun. Kun? I think it's Kun. Truck-Kun.
Why is Rocket driving a bus?
Rocket
the raccoon.
No, Truck Kun. You know what I'm talking about when I say that, right?
Actually, I don't.
Okay, go to YouTube. We're gonna. This is a tangent, but that's okay. Go to YouTube. I would do another tab so you can keep this one out.
All right.
I mean, if it were me. Look, you have a YouTube here.
Yeah, I do. Because I linked it.
Just look up truck-kun. Kun. That's it.
Yeah.
So that third one down, that's the... Wait, scroll over to the left. By scroll, I mean move your mouse over. So it stops autoplaying. Go down
like
so it stops autoplaying. Yeah, I don't know if it's that one or not, but there's basically... In most animes, like, if there's an accident, it's usually some form of vehicle. Usually a truck, sometimes a car, but the Zombieland saga, the first 2 minutes of that's how it starts. I showed you that one. You got way more surprised than I thought you would. It was very entertaining.
Yes. I just wasn't expecting her to like wander out and get taken out by a vehicle.
I love that's the one that's showing up the most, actually. Is just that scene.
Yeah.
There it is again.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so that one is... Reason why I'm bringing it up is, one, it's pretty good, but it's basically when it was written, because most of these are... Guy was bowing at a truck.
All right, we're done with this. Yes.
So when it was written, most animes are based off of either a light novel, web novel, or a manga.
Mm-hmm.
And when this was written, this was before most of your isekai like light novels started being written, or web novels, or mangas, or all of them. And most of the isekais are based off of this. Like, by based off of, I mean they use the same idea. Like, that's what spurred a bunch of these, like, animes and stuff getting created. Because it was a popular idea. Because it's similar to, like, people like video games a lot because it lets them escape to another world, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why isekais are so popular, especially right now.
So that was something else. So we kind of started talking about and wanted to push it off to the... So you want to talk about the other one too?
Well, let me say this last part first. So if you want to watch Mushoku Tensei, it's good. It's very beautiful. So you know how on animes there's usually a pretty like there's an intro and an ending.
Yes.
It's always the same. In this case, they use the same song, but instead of spending the time just showing the same intro over and over again, they actually help you build like the world for that episode during that time.
See,
I really like it.
Yeah, I like that because usually a lot of them spoil it if you pay too much attention to them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, I don't care.
So ReZero, this latest season, they have, so for a 24 season anime, they usually have 2 openings and 2 endings. You usually get a new one on episode 13 or so for both. You saw the first opening for season 2 like 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
And you saw the ending similar amount of time because they spend the entire 30 minutes. Like they like those episodes are 30 minutes long, and most of it is just jam packed with stuff. They actually don't, like, when they show it on TV in Japan, they don't put ads on it because they need all the time. And so in that case, they actually stopped, like, for the second one, they didn't put the opening on for a long time. Mostly, well, not mostly, but another reason was because there were characters in there that were big spoilers, and they didn't want to spoil it before they got to that point.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Nice.
But yeah, if you're, like you said, if you're watching an anime, don't pay too close attention to the, like, you can watch it, but don't, like, analyze the opening because you will get spoiled.
Yeah.
But yeah, where I was going with this, it's very beautiful. I liked it a lot. The main character, he's a pervert.
Yeah.
Like, is most normal, and it's somewhat vulgar at some points, but it's interesting because because he's a kid who gets reincarnated. Like, he was a 40-year-old person when he died, and he got reincarnated as a little child. Like, he was just barely born, but he has the mind of a 40-year-old and is conscious the entire time. But
or a 34-year-old.
In the anime, he was 40.
Oh.
Interesting. At any rate.
Yeah.
So he gets to be better at it, but also a lot of the vulgarity is because it's based off of medieval Europe. Like, that's what the setting is.
Oh.
And so that was kind of common then anyways, like the stuff they talked about. So just be aware that it's a little bit vulgar at some points, but he does develop as a character overall, or tries to.
That's good.
So it's not like
he's not just bad and he stays bad, but he tries to.
Yeah, it's not like overly vulgar like Konosuba is. They're not over like Konosuba. They like the main character is just a scumbag the entire time, but he knows that and he just runs with it, and everybody else does know too. And that's just that. Oh, maybe scumbag is the wrong word. He's very gender neutral.
Yeah.
Meaning he will treat both genders the same. Doesn't give special treatment to women, but yeah. So it's a good anime, but just keep an eye out for that. If you don't like stuff like that, then don't watch it. But the other one, Rising the Shield Hero, another good anime. Similar thing. This one, he was summoned. He wasn't, like, his isekai was being summoned. And the way he's, like, do you know the plot to this at all?
0.
Okay. So what's interesting is that there's parallel worlds. Like, there's more than just Earth and this other world. There's also just a lot, actually. Like, this is, I think, in this universe, it's a true multiverse. Because in this story, there's 4 main heroes. 3 of them get reincarnated into a world that's similar to a video game they play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they were all expecting it to be. The shield guy, which is the one on the poster, the shield hero, he gets summoned because he picked up a book that was telling the story of this. And so he didn't know how the world worked at all. And he was super unprepared. And on top of all that, this is mild spoilers, but not really that much. The shield hero himself is pretty discriminated against.
Yeah.
So he just has a hard time. And yeah. New season coming out though it's supposed to be October of 2021. May or may not get delayed just because that's how the world is right now. And it'll probably be split into 2 parts like most animes have been the last year. I say probably. It might not. It might be late enough where it won't, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. So I enjoyed it. The dub on it, like most of the time I watch sub.
Mm-hmm.
The dub on this was really good. That's how I actually started watching it, and I didn't want to, because even though the subs were coming out every week and the dubbed was like 3 to 4 weeks behind depending on the week, I still waited because it was just that good.
Yeah.
So that's good.
All
Did
right.
I have anything else to ask about it, or is that it?
Well, we got into the ones that are like it. So obviously there's still the especially like the last one with I forgot her name.
ReZero's also isekai.
Yeah. No, what was the one with
Sword Art?
Tanya the Evil?
Oh, Tanya the Evil. Yeah, that was a... I don't know if that was a reincarnation or not.
She was reincarnated.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. He was pushed in front of a train.
Oh, I didn't remember that part.
And God reincarnated him on another planet that was basically going through World War I. But they had...
With magic.
Yeah, but they had magic. And God was like, for you to be able to use your magic, you have to pray to me. And when we reincarnated, he was a she, and she became, no, I will not believe in God, and I will fight everything against your existence.
So when she prays, all she's really doing is just reciting words.
She's reciting the words, so she will have the power to do the thing.
And
and God actually allows her to get the power still.
Well, yeah, because it's basically like You're not praying at that point. It's just an incantation, more or less. But it's funny because most other people, if they knew that, well, actually, just knowing that there is a God and it exists, that'd be enough. But for her, she's doing it and she doesn't like it because it's being X or whatever he calls it, and like he's just doing all this stuff mostly to spite him at this point.
Yes. And
did you ever watch ZK Quartet?
I started to, but not.
So, yeah, ZK Quartet is basically a chibi version of
all of these.
Well, yeah, actually, most of them.
Yeah.
It includes Tanya the Evil, ReZero, Konosuba, and Shield Hero was added in the second season, but they're not used that much. But there's this one scene where they basically do like this walk in a forest thing where people split up. Like, it's like a scary situation where if you were a high school person, you would want to split up with a girl you liked so that she would get freaked out and like hang on to you.
Oh.
Like, it's that kind of situation. And Tanya finds out that Aqua is a god and just flips out at her.
So apparently there was a movie I didn't realize.
That's not surprising.
I think it's based off of the series. So which
well, it's either based off the series or it's like what season 2 would have been, or the next season. I don't remember what they ended at.
It was intended as a sequel. I don't know. I have to go watch it because they did kind of leave the season as a decent cliffhanger.
Because they probably meant to continue it.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of sad that they actually never did anything with. Like, I actually may have to hunt down. I don't even know how Tanya the Evil is. It was a light novel.
Well, yeah, most of these are.
Yeah.
The animes are usually based off the light novels, but sometimes they're based off the mangas.
It only existed for a year too. Oh no, that's the novel series. The light novel is still being written. I might have to go hunt it down then.
That's weird. Most of the time, there's not the novel part there, unless that means web novel. No, it was published.
There was, yeah. But it's also a different published company.
Most of the time, it's light novel, manga, and web novel. And usually the web novel is someone just decided to write up a story and it got enough traction to where they decided to turn it into a manga /
It was a novel, then it was a light novel. Look at the dates, 2012, 2013 for the novel. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, that to think. Might have to go hunt that down because I really enjoyed that storyline. But, so that goes back with, we were talking about Sword Art Online.
I don't know that
So, the idea of you being in another world, doesn't a digital world still count as another world?
Most of the time I wouldn't agree with you, but the fact that they were locked in and weren't allowed to leave, that's the only, like, ground I'm giving you.
Well, but it also goes with the other idea of, like, the theory that we aren't real, we live in a game, or we live in a computer.
Yeah.
And among the other things is if we are living in a computer, we are probably going to create a world which will be a computer. Therefore, our world's going to create worlds which are going to create worlds, so on and so forth, and on to infinity in computers. And we wouldn't be the first one to be doing all this. Well, obviously, we'd be somewhere randomly in the middle because to be the first would just be luck, I guess, or happenstance. More likely, there are many worlds above us that were created in a computer that we've been created in.
Yeah.
So therefore, these are literally a multiverse of worlds created in computers, or a hierarchy of worlds created in computers.
Like the stories?
No, our lives. We live in a computer right now, and we were created by people who lived in a computer before us, who were created by people who, they put them in their version of a computer. We are going to create people in a computer, a universe in a computer.
Yeah, but what does this have to do with the isekai stuff?
It's like what I was saying, like FYSAO is kind of the we are living in another universe. So which would also mean that if we wanted to, if we're living in a computer, we could actually transfer our existence into one of the other universes, and we're still in a computer.
We could, yes, but because you can't, like in SAO, when it first starts, they can't leave. They're stuck there.
Yes.
So even though they had real lives, they are able to leave. Like, they're giving an exit condition. They just have to work for it, and death is real there. And so it's basically they've been isekai into another world, but the reason why it's a gray area is because they know it's a simulation. They theoretically can go back, whereas in these other ones, it's unsure. Like the only other isekai that like style story that I've seen where there's a possibility of going back. Well, I guess Shield Hero there is, because once they win, they can go back. But is Alufruta? I can't remember. It's a weird spelling. It's like AU and then Fruta and then just type anime. That'll probably be good enough. Shoot. I can find it on TV Time. But in that one, they get summoned into that world, and their exit condition is winning. Basically, there's a war between demons and humans, and they have to win the war to be able to go back. Whereas in most isekais, there's no like way to get home that they know of. So with Sword Art Online, they have an exit condition that they can work towards, and they know it's a simulation, and they still have their real lives. So that's why it's kind of a gray area, and it turns into not being an isekai because later on they have their real lives, and then they are able to go into another world and then leave at will. And the only other time it becomes an isekai again is in like season, what was the last one? 3, 4? It was 4. Well, 3 and 4 actually.
Or which one?
For Sword Art.
2.
No, not 2. 2 was the Gun Gale.
That was only the first half of 2.
And then the other half was they were in the elf world.
Yes.
The one I'm thinking of is for the Alice part.
Oh,
where,
yes, you are talking about season 3. And actually, I don't think there's a season 4, is there, technically?
No, that was a 2-season arc, so it would be 3 and 4. And I think you've seen season 3. You haven't seen the last one yet, though.
I thought I'd only seen like the first half of season 3.
I don't know. You were the one that watched it, man.
Well, that's the thing, is their seasons are like 24 episodes.
Yeah, that's how the good animes are.
Yeah.
If they're only 12, I mean, that doesn't mean that they're not good. I don't like it when animes are only 12.
Honestly, that's why many books being put into shows are much better than movies.
I can't find it.
Yeah.
I'm going to find it.
All right. If you find it, I'll maybe put it in the show notes, but we're wrapping things up.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's my reason why I don't think. Okay, I'm going to keep going.
All right.
There's one more thing I wanted to add. So,
yes.
Way back when I first started getting into anime, I watched Sword Art, really liked it, wanted to find other stuff to watch. There was this flowchart I found on Reddit that gave you examples of anime to watch based on what you like. It gave you a series of questions like on the flowchart, and depending on what you answered, it would could branch off to other places. And when it got down to the Sword Art portion, it was like stuck in another world, the good one, or swords and stuff or whatever. The Sword Art was the ones with swords and stuff. Log Horizon was what was classified as a good one. Log Horizon I would classify as similar to this, but I don't think it had all the... No, it wasn't this big.
Oh, this one is giant.
This one's also got dating sims in it too. The Devil's a Part-Timer also got a second season, by the way.
The Devil's a Part-Time?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Sorry. But where was I going with that?
You're doing the list that you were like the
good
one.
Yeah. So Log Horizon, I would classify. Well, it is 100% an isekai, though. They may or may not have a way back.
But they also can't die.
Yeah, but there's still a consequence to dying.
I forgot what the consequence was.
They lose a memory. They don't know which one. Like anytime they die, something gets ripped out of their soul while they're on I think it's the moon, or they think it's the moon. that they spawn at, and something gets ripped out of their head, and then they see it crash to the ground and split apart. And then they wake up in the cathedral. So yes, they are more powerful in that they can reincarnate, whereas the people of the world can't. If they die, they're just dead.
Is this the
but
one?
there is a consequence. It might be similar. Do you see sword art in there somewhere? Because I can't quite see it where I am. Yeah, there is. It's right in the middle. Well, second middle, third middle, second, third. Over to the right a tiny bit, and then up 2. To the right. There it is. That was sword art. I don't know what the other is. That
the best fuel for YouTube rants. That's what it is.
I mean, yeah, it does have its own fair share of problems. It does have its own share of problems.
Yeah. What was it before that? How do you normally pick what to watch? Whatever won the most awards, or the best fuel for you YouTube rants? And what won the most awards?
I found it.
You found the right one?
Yeah, man, ads are annoying.
Man.
It's Arifreta.
Oh, I was like...
From commonplace to world's strongest is the tagline for it. I actually told you about this one.
Stop moving.
I was trying to make it easier for you.
I was reading the top line, the header.
Oh, my bad. I didn't see that part.
I lost it. Scroll up. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't see that part either.
All right. Is that the wiki? That is the wiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like what was I looking at? It was literally bright and bold, and I didn't even get to the same webpage you got to. Oh, you're in fandom. I'm on the wiki. That's what
I just clicked on the first one that I found. Didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it worked out for you.
But
so
this one has 12 episodes. The light novels, I think they're all the way up to 10. The 11th one is about to come out in April, but
nice.
It stops anime stops at I think it stops right at the end of light novel 4, and I don't think they're gonna make another anime. I mean, because it didn't. Yeah, there's a lot of skip content, and people aren't super happy with it. But what's on our anime
subreddit?
I don't think I've ever been to our anime actually.
Really? Oh, I think I subscribed to it. I forget. Do I? No, I do not.
Do you know, are you vaguely familiar with the Konosuba characters? Did you ever watch it, actually? Konosuba?
I don't think I did.
Oh. Well, basically there's a misogynist.
Yeah.
She's the blonde. This one, there's a misogynist. She's the brunette, black-haired person.
You keep saying Kana. You mean...
Konosuba?
Is that the one you just got?
No, this isn't Konosuba.
Okay, I was like, wait.
What I'm getting at is that you basically have an Aqua, which is the goddess. She's kind of ditzy, but kind of strong. And then you have a misogynist, and then a person who's smart and magical and stuff like that.
I remember this from the quartet one.
Yeah, Aqua.
Yes.
She's the goddess.
So, we really should wrap up.
Yeah, we're done. I'm good.
So,
I was mostly spitballing at this point.
Do you have any famous last words?
Nah, I've said a lot already. Those are my famous last words. What do you got?
Sword Art Online is not a terrible anime. That's the hill I'll die on.
I like it. I never said I didn't like it.
Oh, not you, just the world in general.
There's reasons why people have those arguments. So,
it's the hill I'll die on.
Okay.